Hey guys, welcome to the Fear and Terror podcast. I'm Aloe. I'll be your host today. My co-host today will be Gordo,
What's up, y'all?
and we are joined today by Bios,
No.
Sensei,
What's up?
and False.
Hello.
So this is a little different podcast. We thought we'd do this early and knock it out of the way. This is the theme of this week is kind of the OGs of Fear and Terror. So with that, we're gonna get into my first question with everybody. How did you get into FaT? Like, how did you join FaT? Because you guys are the OGs. So how did you find FaT?
I guess I'll start on this one. So, believe it or not, Jimmy used to play squad. It's very difficult to believe that now, but he actually used to play squad. Um, and so I for some reason just joined up in this random squad with Fat Big Jimmy HD, and I thought this guy is just gonna sound like an absolute Chad. Believe it or not, he does. He does carry himself that way, but that's a story for another day. Um, but we started off and we drive in this fucking Logi. I don't know what I can't remember what the map is. I'm terrible with those names. And we the map went absolutely terrible or wonderful. I can't remember. It's been a bit. And from there, I got the DM from him like, hey, if you guys are enjoying, join time with us, just join up the Fear and Terror. Here's my Discord link. And I was like, all right, let's just see what's up. And unfortunately, that's kind of how it's been.
Well, here you are.
Yeah, here we are.
Unfortunately, but fortunate enough. So.
Yeah.
False, what about you?
So me, I actually joined up with Jimmy on. I started about 2 years ago or so. It's been about a year and a half. It's almost like since the start of the clan, I want to say. And I was just playing squad. I think it was like back in V7. I want to say like .7 or something. And we Uh, just had a good time. It was very like team based and like coordinated, and I decided to join. And yeah, I met a bunch of really cool people along the way, and I stopped playing squad, but I started playing other games, and it's just kind of been my home ever since.
And Bios, the great Bios.
I'm not that great, but the way I found Fear and Terror was just playing squad. I was one day I was just SLing. I got tired of SLing. I was like, hey, I'll join this dude's squad. Happened behold, it was Jimmy. Played with him for a couple rounds. Thought he was a total dickhead. How in the beginning of his lines, he's like, "You guys remember this? Everyone join my squad. If you got any questions, make sure to ask. I don't mind asking questions, but if you don't ask questions, then I assume you know what you're doing." That's his go-to line whenever he created a squad. Back in the day when he played squad, you don't see that much anymore. Then played with him a couple rounds. He hit me up. It was me and another guy called Selfless. We joined together. We were the two like OG. He joined first, and then I joined. Even before we became official, the official start date, and then here I am. I stay. Make it short.
Yeah, so it all around it seems like Jimmy kind of was the asshole that brought you guys together.
I wouldn't say asshole. I'd
was
say sticky glue.
Okay, fair enough.
he's very charismatic in his speaking sometimes. To just kind of draw you in. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, Jimmy, at this. I'm just speaking my mind. But
Jimmy, honestly, he was a really good squad lead, and he was easy to play with if you knew what you were doing, and so that kind of was what drew me in. He was really harsh if he if you said you knew how to do something or could do something and you didn't, like
he was gonna eat your ass, you know. But like, you know, I never. I don't know. I don't know. I enjoyed playing with everyone in the coordination, you know, and it wasn't just Jimmy that brought me there, but you know, it was. Yeah, I think a lot of the people really had the same, you know, mindset, which was just teamwork and coordination, and you know, we were able to do some really cool tactical stuff.
Do you guys miss? This is one of my questions. Do you guys miss being the smaller clan, or are you excited to see how much the clan has grown?
Yeah, yes and no. I think
Yeah,
that's the
I have
best
to
way to
say,
put it.
I have to say with
Elaborate.
no on that.
Because one, it's kind of nice being kind of one of the bigger kids on the block, if you want to say that. But at the same time, it's like I kind of wish, you know, we still this kind of small, more tightly knit group sometimes because there's
Nah,
just so much going on.
I agree with that too sometimes, but you know, I think it's an interesting mix because I enjoy having new people to play with, and you know, it's like I feel like a lot of people are really grateful for you know having a place to like you know meet and do all that kind of stuff, but it's also really hard to like you know coordinate that many people, you know, and especially like in the kind of community we used to have, you know, it's hard. Like we had like people who get on like every day, you know, same time, same place, you know. So it's hard to, you know, kind of balance that both. And yeah, I think it's cool that, you know, I still do have, you know, a couple people that, you know, I have played with for like, you know, a year and a half. But it's you know, I think just with everything, you know, it's like it gets a little bit, you know, less people come back, you know, every day, and that's
Mm-hmm.
hard.
So,
So, oh, go ahead, boss. Go ahead.
mm, so yeah, I mean your question is a good one. I hear that a lot. Thought about. There's pros and cons to both. When we were a small group in the past, like less than 50, or now when we're like 900 plus of active and inactive members, like I've seen a trend. It's shifted a lot. Like in the past, like False was right. Like we would all get on at the same time. You would see the same faces. We would roll the same squad pretty much every day, 7 days a week. Like couple like 2 years back, and then it kind of shifted into like as we grew bigger, everyone got into their own little group. So we're basically how I see it, like we're a group within a group. Like
Yeah,
I see smaller groups within this group. Like
I
Mm-hmm.
agree with that actually.
Tarkov. Like I see the same 5 people that plays every day, right? But they're part of a group that's bigger, which is like FaT. So that's like kind of trend that we're kind of setting to where the point where it's like an inner circle where everyone is part of this big circle, but there's smaller circles that make like close to friends. It's almost like a school environment, almost.
Mm-hmm.
So there is pros and cons. Like I like the past where everyone knew each other, but now like false right, like you can see new people play with new people, but at the same time, like the old people that you know very well, you just want to stick with them sometimes, and sometimes you want to meet new. Just depends on the time of day and what you.
Yeah, yeah, and I totally get that. Like, because I was recruited playing squad, and if I see the people that recruited me that are in playing squad, I would join their squad. Like, yeah, I like playing with the new people because you get to introduce yourself to the new people and get to meet new people. But like, you gotta remember where your roots are with the OGs. So I totally get that.
I did that same
Uh,
shit with Tarkov as well.
I don't know, man. It's just for me, like squad just stopped being fun, you know. And I enjoyed that I still had a game that I could play with you guys, but it wasn't like, you know, I it really like it got to the point where it's just like I had been through most firefights. I knew, you know, most of the maps, and it's like, you know, it just I don't know. It I liked the loot, you know, of Tarkov, and you know, I guess it's a lot of people I feel like felt the same way, and you know, it's kind of hard, you know, because it's like I want to play with you guys, and I try and find games that I can play that are not Tarkov with y'all, but you know, it's just it's hard.
yeah.
I actually got it back into playing squad a little bit more recently, and it's actually kind of fun because I jumped in some rando, like some, I can't remember your name to save my life, but just like some random guy, and we kind of just hit it off like we've been playing with each other for the last couple of years. So it's not like you can't make new friends out of new people, but and sometimes you just gotta take that step and be like, okay, cool, I'm just playing with people in the group, and we've been here.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like you share the same tag. You may not have been like known each other for a long time, but you share the same tag, so it's like for the greater good. I guess you could say. But with that, we're gonna move on to some submitted questions from FaT members. First one comes from Kill, and it's to Bios, False, and Shisno. And his question says, as some of the remaining few OG FaT members, what are your overall thoughts on how the group has grown? And it's the good and bad. So this is pre, since you guys are from before the Great Merger, so.
The Great Merger.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Which one is that?
I think Aloe, like you should explain what he was referring to the Great Merger, since we have a lot of new members that probably don't even
so-
know.
We've had so many
Yeah,
mergers.
I don't
dude,
even know that.
know which one you're talking.
There's like
I think-
30 mergers, dude.
So
Yeah.
many.
I think they're like, I don't want to say like.
The first
All
one,
right, so
or
I
great
can
box
explain this one.
Because
I
there's
can
so many
explain
of
this
them.
one. I can explain this one.
Thank
Alright.
you, Bias.
So we had mergers along the way, right? Goods and bad. But the one Kieran's referring to, and he'll always say the Great Merger, is when we
break
merged
the
with
Boss
BXO and
Boss
BL.
Boys.
BLT.
So we first merged with I don't know if you want me to go into how we merged with the two of them.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, it'll probably be covered in a later date, but go ahead. Yeah, explain.
All right.
Because everybody's got their own story.
So basically, it's all again back in squad, right? We started as a squad group, the OG game of the FaT, the first, and we'll always be the first, and always. Sorry for some of you guys that don't like to play it. We always started in squad. We were playing squad. We play with BXO and box out. When we got our own server, right, we still play with them. The BLT guys like Murder, Jay, and stuff. Pox, they were BLT.
Was Pox BLT or BXO?
He was BLT.
He was
Was he?
BLT.
He was the co-leader of BLT. It was him and F Monk. Those two ran BLT.
Oh yeah, Monk.
Yeah, remember their logo was a bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich.
Oh my god, dude.
Their Discord was laid out like a restaurant.
What the
Beautiful.
Jesus.
What do you mean laid out? What do you mean laid out like a restaurant? I've seen so many different restaurants that. I don't know
No,
what you
so
mean.
the
Like a
BLT
hostess stand?
No, like a BLT Discord, right? Like their own Discord before they merged with us. They had like a kitchen, the cook staff, like the members, right, were like cooks.
Did they
And then, like,
really?
yeah, that's how their
crazy,
Discord was laid out.
dude.
What a
That's
bunch
crazy.
of nerds.
Like their AFK channel was like I think it was like the bar or something. Like their sleep.
What the
It was a
fuck?
really unique Discord. But
What the fuck?
we played with them for a couple months. We played with the BXO a couple months, and then Jimmy was like, "Hey, Biles." He did this privately, of course. He asked me like, "What do you think if we merge with those two clans?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, we could do it." And then we formulated a plan to hook and bait them to joining FaT. Is basically
and
how we
bait?
did it. Yeah, so we hooked Pox and F Monk with a strategy. We hooked Kilworm with a strategy. Lo and behold, long story short, they both joined. BXO, Box Out Boys, they joined first. Soon after, 2 days later, BLT joined. That was a great merger.
The worst part about after that is that we had a huge like squad game as like this corporate like meet and greet event. I swear to God, there was like 30 people in this like a Discord channel, and we all introduced ourselves and like, what do you know about this and that? It's fucking
Oh my
looking back on
God,
it, it's like,
dude.
cringe.
I remember
But,
that.
it was
I was the
so
one that organized.
just- Did you really?
Yeah, like I didn't want to do it, but like they're all like, you know what? It's a meet and greet. We should do it, right? So we did it for an anniversary, like a not anniversary party, but like we did it for a party, like to celebrate the two groups merging. So I planned the event for the whole thing. We were supposed to just get together and have fun, like play a game on the side, but then we're like, you know what? Let's go down the list. Everyone say something that to introduce yourself, and then it turned into like a first day of a class from school.
It was such,
Yeah, welcome to kindergarten,
so
motherfuckers.
cringe. Looking back on it.
Let me tell you something about me and my favorite color and my name.
How
Exactly,
old I
that's what
am?
it
I'm
turned.
12.
At
Fuck,
one
man.
point, funny story side comment of that. Someone had their wife go on and
What?
introduced
What?
it for them.
Which
Are you
one
gonna
was
name
that?
drop? This is a name dropping podcast by us.
I would not. No, I won't name it.
Oh,
But like
alright.
everyone laughed at that point. Like that was the most memorable thing ever.
Kurt says something about him and his bully fucking minion profile pic, and that's about the
Oh,
most
no.
I can remember from that introduction.
Has he had that same picture this entire time?
Yes!
Oh my god, dude.
Jesus!
He's kept that since. Oh my god.
Turd, please change your profile picture.
Turd,
Holy
don't.
shit, dude.
You're a fucking madman. Keep it.
Dude, that's some dedication.
It
Honestly,
is.
that's some crazy dedication.
I have identity crisis every 2 months. I don't know how a man could do it for 2 years.
I've kept mine since I've started Discord. I've only changed it for holidays.
No, Turd has actually kept that longer. Like I saw that.
know.
I,
It's
I
nutty.
saw before he had that picture.
What the fuck? Uh,
The
But anyway.
turtle grows.
back to the question. So, now that we have explained the merger, what are your overall thoughts on how the group has grown? Both game wise, it could be game wise, it could be member wise, really anything.
I think people have gotten a lot more like anxious and depressed. I've noticed like everyone in Tarkov chat is like borderline suicidal. So
It's
I
because
don't
you keep
know.
losing loot. Get the
Yeah.
gear fear, my man.
Yeah.
The gear fear.
I
I just I wish things would go back to a more like happy and chill environment as opposed to like everyone obsessing over like who to play with and like what gear they're losing and all that kind of stuff.
think the one, if we're gonna go with a bad thing, I want to go with it's maybe gotten a little like corporate. Would be the word I would use. Just this manager, the meetings. It first started off, it's like, I want to play games with people. And now it's, I need to organize a meeting with people so I can play my games. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's but the worst thing I could say it's gotten to. I mean, obviously there's been ups and downs with different games, different trends. People come, people go. Easy come, easy go. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like a slow change that you don't notice it at first, because at first it's just like, oh, it's like 50 people at best. Everyone jumps on squad, and we fucking just roll house. And now it's like, okay, who's playing what? What server are we on?
Yeah.
What's the game of the month? And then who do I do and do not want to play with, or something like that. It's now gotten almost into like personalities, where at first it was just like, oh cool, we're just playing squad. Now it's like, do I really want to play this game because they're on or something? Which is growing few and far in between, because there's like all the other games, but whatever. But it's good that we've branched out, grown, and kind of made a place for ourselves.
And reformed the main game now twice. Shout out to Postscriptum.
Shut up. Go post.
Yay, post. It's finally back.
Return of the King.
Is that actually back?
It's
Yeah.
back.
That's
Yeah, baby,
awesome.
it's back.
But that question, that's a deep one. I can go on for a while about this one.
Choose your top one.
I'll break it up in two parts. All right,
Okay.
the members and then the game. All right, so game wise, like I'm glad that we branched out. Yeah, we had like games that probably most people forget that we tried. We had a director for, and then it fit. And then we had another
Right.
one, a couple of them.
That was an intentional cough.
Yes, that's why I
uh,
mentioned it. And then we've grown to the point where we're at like 5, and I'm glad right now we're getting a lot more selective when we get a new game. Like we used to have an app in the past, right? Like we did that, but like now, especially the voting and stuff, like in the directors, like it's a lot more strict because like we now know like almost the mentality of what becoming a game to lead it needs, or like the basic qualifications. Because we have directors that failed in past, so it is good and it is bad that some games have dipped, but they turn into side games, which is really members. On the other hand, man, can I talk about members? The good, there's a lot of them. The bad, people's mentality, like Sensei said. Some people play, some people don't. The loyalty factor, yeah, that is, but like most people just the new ones they just join because like A, we're a big group. B, we have a game. C, they want whitelist for squad. Or like D, all the above. Like there's really no new case. Like most people don't even know most of the new recruits or like regulars from like what I can tell. Like there's like out of 100 of them, like only one or two that makes it stick. Like even makes it to like what I say like the core member, right? Like people know them. Like it's really hard. So, like it's good that we're big, but like at the same time, it's like I think we need to be a little bit more like selective in who actually joins, which is why like recruits to regulars specifically is like for some games it's a lot harder than others. So like, but yeah, I'm glad like the group has grown and we've prospered. Because I never imagined even joining like we grown this big. Like the day we jumped from what I want to say 5 to 50, and then 50 to like 100. Like once
Yeah,
we
it just
passed
fucking
150, that
exploded.
was just an explosion. Like once we reached the peak 150, like we just saw like an exponential growth.
It's just been growing from that day on.
Yeah, and then now, like if you look, like we kind of plateaued a little bit. Like once we peaked at around 800, we kind of like, hey, we got to slow down a bit. So like we're kind of like steadily growing a little bit less. It's not really an exponential anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that rambling answers that question.
No, I definitely appreciate it, especially someone that's now a purple great boy. Congratulations on
Yeah,
It's a
that.
congrats,
plum,
Bios.
Yeah,
you. It's a
congrats.
plum. Get your lore
Oh,
right.
same thing.
No, no, they're not.
It's recent lore. How am I supposed to remember? But
You know,
anyway.
the purple's just a color.
Uh, do you want to explain what you basically do for compared to Kilrim? Now that you're a plum, do you want to explain kind of what you do compared to Kilrim?
Sure, I can explain. So basically, clan director, right? Basically, as a whole, we oversee the overall functions of the whole group. We're not game specific, as in we don't have a bias against a particular game like a game director should, and they're rightfully so because they need to have in order for the game to survive, they need to have a bias and want their game to achieve number one status in the group. Clan directors oversee the overall structure of the Discord. So what difference between mine and Kirum is more on the operational side. So he deals with things like the personnel team, that makes sure like the database for our members are accurate and up to date with the team. What I mean database, if you guys don't know, is they keep track of like the whitelists. They help for whitelists because the squad director allows them to do that. So they deal with the 64 IDs, keeping track of all those, the Discord IDs, if anyone's blacklisted, things like that. He also deals alongside operations like. Let me read out the teams that he's rightfully like.
He
So
rightfully owns.
yeah, so like he's in control of marketing, personnel, ambassador. I'm sure everyone, the new members, know the ambassadors because you had to meet with an ambassador
I'm one
when
of
you
them.
join. I didn't because it didn't exist in the past. I'm sure actually no one in here actually met an ambassador, probably except for Gordo.
Yeah,
I met an
have.
ambassador.
Oh, you met an ambassador, Aloe?
Yeah.
Jimmy was my ambassador.
Sax was my ambassador.
Who's your ambassador, Gordo?
I
Do you
have no
remember?
idea. I think it was Sax. I don't remember.
We'll probably find out.
I
But
can also look.
like events like those are like operation status throughout the whole group. Side games, like if the voting for games, like that will be under his turn. Avatars and operational things, so like Discord avatars, that's under his podcast, is what we're doing. It's operational. Marketing is operational. Like he just sends the operations of the day-to-day Discord. That's what he is. That's his job and his role. Mine, on the other hand, is more of the tech side. So, like, I deal with the programming team, websites, and modding, anything that's technical with the Discord. That's my new role. I used to do programming. Like, I made that Discord like even before I was squad director. So, like, it was just a natural step up to it. I had a replacement for me, squad director. Thankfully, if you're listening, Quavo, thanks for stepping up and taking.
Shout out to Quavo
Yeah, shout out to him.
for stepping up
He
and
does
taking
so
over.
much.
Squad.
I'll be fucking honest.
Yeah.
He does fucking everything.
It was a hard decision to make. Having someone, and Quavo was the right one. Out of he was really the only candidate.
That was a hard decision. That's probably the easiest one you've made so far.
I mean, joining FaT is a hard decision too.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
But I appreciate you kind of explaining to the newer members on like what you do, BIOS. With that, we're gonna move into another question, and we kind of covered it a little bit, but it's also from Killrim to the OG guys. What are your thoughts on the groups that were joining before the Great Merger, and what are your thoughts on them now? And we'll start with False.
I really just don't know much about the other groups before, the Great Merger. But all I know is, as I said, I think the vibe has changed significantly, and I think people really just, some people have forgotten that it's all just games, and as much as I love playing with y'all, it's like it's really hard to watch everyone go through that. So I hope that people can just get back to a point where we become more of like a family again.
Yeah, like sometimes you need to be like chill, just relax and play, and sometimes there's times when you need to be like a little. It's time to focus on a game for like something for some reason.
I got that, but I think a lot of people have forgotten the chill part, and yeah,
it feels
it
very
is what it
elitist
is.
at times.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Sensei?
This was the questions about the groups before the merger, right?
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on the groups before and after the merger?
Okay, so we're just talking about elitists. My opinion was before the mergers, these groups were just like, why are we merging with these guys? Like, I'll be honest, I had no idea who BXO, BLT were. I may have seen their tags when I was playing Squad, but I really didn't pay too much attention because they weren't FaT guys, so I wasn't like playing with them specifically. So I guess when we finally merged, it was like, oh, I guess we got these new people, and then we had the first day of school, and that kind of set stone. It was both good and bad that we had that because we had fuck just everything that went wrong in that school day thing. The game they wanted to set up kind of went good and bad at the same time. It's really weird, but it kind of showcased that everyone was out there to have fun. And growing into that, some of these groups that we may or may not have merged with that may come in, I too small to notice. But I think the BLT BXO ones were the largest that had the most significant impact because with Kill they came in, they brought Tarkov. That was kind of the big change, which was cool because we finally had a new game that wasn't Squad. So that kind of set in stone. Let's add games. Let's break out, I guess, if you want to say, pun intended. Break out from the Squad mold, get into Tarkov. But I think changing it up sometimes is good. Too much, I don't know. It's been good.
What would you have to say to members, say a group wants to merge with us in the future, and they happen to stumble along this podcast? What would you say to them? What would be your advice to them?
It's just, it's open for anyone, I assume.
Yeah.
Don't assume who people are. It's a mistake I've made so many times, especially in squad games. I just assume people will act a certain way. It's just like a slap to the face sometimes. Like, alright, stop doing that shit, I guess.
I definitely have to agree. I assume, you assume someone is someone that they're not, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but most of the time it's bad. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and the question, it's a loaded one for me. Since I'm on the committee that has to deal with that, I'm gonna abstain from answering it.
Okay, you're that's totally respectable. And Foss, can I guess what you're gonna say?
I don't know. I would say that we're all community, and I really hope that we can come together through this and not separate more. I think the most important thing I could say to a new person is find the people who match the vibe that you want, and it's like try and uplift each other. Try and be the person who is the change you want to see. Try and be there for each other, and really, break us out of, that system. We need more people to get involved and like actually help this community thrive. And, we really can't do it without you, So I hope, um, yeah, I hope that if you're listening right now, that you just be the best you can be, and find other people and help them be the best they can be.
Yeah, that's a good, really good message, Paul. Like, I agree. Like, some people in this community, like, just be yourself and be chill, relax, and then just have fun at the end of the day with all, or select few if you're um antisocial, which is perfectly fine. Like, I know before, like, I don't play with everyone here. Like, there's only select few that I know really well, and then like I'm open to meeting new people.
I get that 100%. But I think at the end of the day, I have fun with it. Like you said, like I couldn't have said it better. Like you really well done. Like
Because at the end of the day, we're all here to play games, and that's basically it. Is just we're just here to play games and enjoy each other's company and everything. So
I wouldn't
definitely.
say just here to play games.
I mean, some of us are.
'Cause
Most of
so-
us are here to
I
play
say
games.
most is here to play games. Some people here for the community, and then some people here for like other aspects that they offer that we offer that they like. So, but yeah, you are right. Most here is here for gaming.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm here because I'm lonely as fuck in my normal everyday life, and y'all are fun to play with, and I enjoy talking to you. And I wish that there are more games we had in common. But like I'm here for the community. And the games are like a fun part, fun thing we can do together. And I think I forgot that for a while with Tarkov. So I'm really grateful for this chat.
I, for one, am just happy that we're no longer in like the early 2000s days of like clans where they're on forums, because that's just dog shit. I'll be honest.
God,
God.
imagine using a forum.
Imagine if we were forum gamers.
Imagine if we used TeamSpeak. And had
Oh
better
my
audio
God,
Oh,
quality.
like-
people still do use TeamSpeak though.
Yeah,
There's
for
some
audio.
benefits to TeamSpeak, but like
There
now,
aren't very many, but there are.
now it's like having your voice channel, having a community that's not dedicated to this archaic nature of like posting messages is a lot better.
My time with TeamSpeak was with like Mountain Blade Napoleon like groups.
Oh
we
my
used to do
God.
line battles and stuff. And these guys were like all EU, and they refused to use Discord because Discord was hard. That was their exact words. Discord was hard. So they used TeamSpeak, and I was like, like Discord's free. Discord's great. It's a great thing. But I don't like TeamSpeak. I have it installed on my computer, and I don't know why. But yeah. We're gonna go to the next question. Something a little lighter from Bob Saget. And this one I actually found really interesting. Have you ever considered doing meet and greet for vetted members? Yes and no-ish. I know there are some people in the community that have already met up in the in real life and done things in real life. I personally have met a couple people.
You met Faceless, right?
No, I met Jimmy.
Jumpin'
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jumping Jimmy.
Not Big Jimmy. I've met Jumpin' Jimmy, and him and I are really cool. Shout out to Jumpin' Jimmy. But I know there are other members that have met up, like if they've been in one area of the country and they've been playing with their friends, they're playing with another person for a while. They've met up a couple times. They've done like barbecues. They've gone to lunch. They've done this and that. But for vetted members, like it's an interesting question because you don't want there's I feel like there's an exclusion factor to doing meetups and stuff. Like if you have a FaT only meetup, say in I don't know, fucking Texas or some shit. If you have a FaT only meetup, like I feel like that's very, very inclusive to just the like, hey, you've been FaT for over a year, come meet up and we'll do, I don't know, fucking have a barbecue, whatever. People are always welcome to find someone near them. Like Jimmy and I found each other, like found out that we lived close to each other unintentionally. We just were talking about it in DMs one day. Like, make sure you set up this shit in like DMs first. Like, don't boppo yourself and give away. Like, talk to someone like in DM, especially don't give away to your strangers. It's internet safety 101. But
Don't boppo yourself.
No
yeah,
Boppo.
What
don't,
did Boppo?
don't bop.
That's
No
a meme I still
Boppo.
don't get.
Don't boppo yourself. But
I'm too new for that.
But yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
Good lord.
I'll find out. Adam.
Good lord.
Uh,
make sure
I'll
you're
fill you in.
make sure
That's enough story.
you guys are always open to meet each other. Like, we're not telling you like you're in FaT and you can't meet anybody outside of FaT or inside of FaT. Like, go ahead and like meet. I don't care. Like, that's my thing. But for a dedicated meetup for FaT members, I don't see happening. I don't know if anybody else wants to weigh in it,
like
but
a big, huge, like, are you talking like a huge conference of FaT people?
Fuck no.
I don't want to say FatCon
Fuck that.
because that's not necessarily appropriate.
FatCon.
But
operational one, we're a long way from that. If we're even considering it,
it's ambitious.
It's a very ambitious thing. Like, podcast is already ambitious enough. FatCon is way too ambitious for us right now.
FatCoin, however,
not to mention
That would be cool though.
I do like the idea of FaT meetup. Get to meet the people like you shit talk on the internet, and you can solve all your problems at a convention. That would be cool.
Is if we helped like organize like transportation for people from some areas. Like we had like a couple Greyhound buses coming from like certain cities, and we could all like meet up there. And then like carpool together, like via Greyhound or something to the place.
I think the way to do it is like regional as well, like since there's
regional
guys.
So like because we have quite a few EU members, so like I definitely think like regional meetups would probably be the best option.
That's true.
It'd probably be actually easier for EU members to meet up at the moment.
Hella easier.
We could
or
also
if you live in Texas, because Texas is really,
okay. Big Jimmy, no shit, lives like 30 minutes away from me, and I still haven't met him. So if that says anything, I don't know.
Hey Jimmy, you're listening. I know you are. Work this shit out.
No, I'm figuring.
Texas meetup.
I surprise. I gotta talk to him about it.
But yeah, that's my thing on it. Is go ahead and have them if you want, but don't force people to go. Especially if people are not willing to do it. So
it's not required.
Sure. I've seen what Jimmy looks like. I'm sure some people here too.
I've seen what Jimmy looks like too.
Nope.
Very curious.
Dude,
I was the first one. Like I found him at a baseball game.
What?
What?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Do you remember that story, Aloe?
I remember that story.
I've
I've seen the picture too.
Yeah, to feel false and Sensei, and so basically one day, like Jimmy was going to like a what teams in Tech? Where
the Rangers?
Yeah, the Rangers.
Rangers.
He was going to a baseball game there, right? And then like, you know how they record it on the crowd sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, so Jimmy took a picture from his seat. Like he didn't show his face, but like he like went on dish was like, "Hey, I'm at a Rangers game. I'm on TV," and then it's like, "Can anyone find me?" I was like,
Jimmy Boppoed himself.
I'll take that challenge.
Did you actually find this man on a TV?
Yeah. So I went on, right? I'm like, it took me less than 5 minutes. I'm like, so your camera angle is here. So I know you're sitting behind there. You're behind the picture plate. So I'm like, all right. I fast forward to like the pictures plate, went through, look at the angle, and then I'm like, is this you, Jimmy?
Jimmy Boppoed himself.
He Boppoed himself.
Dude, that's like
I've seen that picture.
Just like fucking triangulating the fucking location shit.
It wasn't that hard. Like he took it literally at an angle. I can just work my way back. I'm like, that's where you are.
I am never sending a picture where I am to BIOS. Got it.
BIOS will especially if you say I'm on TV. Yeah.
Like I don't think it's malicious. Like I mean,
BIOS wants to know your location.
The challenge. I'll take it up. Like, come on. I'll take the challenge.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Going back to the meetup, I think someone tried to set up a FaT meetup.
People do meet up, actually. I know in like fucking Oregon area, people do meet up.
Yeah, that's
what
I was talking about. Yeah.
Dan, Audio,
Chef?
Chef,
Kill?
yep.
Kill?
Yeah, Kill as well.
So the Box Boys.
Yeah, Box
Boys.
Boys.
Old school with the Box Boys.
So yeah, I mean, you guys are right. There has been an unofficial meetup. There's been a meetup in Texas where it's like Aloe and like big
I haven't
No,
met Big Jimmy yet.
Jumping
I met
Jimmy?
Jumpin' Jimmy. Jumpin' Jimmy and I have met
Because you guys are in Colorado.
in Colorado. Yeah, we're in Colorado. Boppo myself, but you know.
Oh no.
Like those two
Uh,
and then the Seattle boys, they met up, and like the Box Out boys, they met up in a game of Airsoft one day. They planned it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
they did.
So
yeah,
like, I
so
mean, there have been meetups. Like where I am, I was supposed to meet up with some of the guys, and then we all had
Oof.
life or excuses. That's the real
life.
question.
It was actual life.
Okay.
Fuck life.
Like I'm not gonna bopple anyone specific for that meetup. So
But yeah, that's our take on the meetups. Like, feel free to have them. To reiterate, feel free to have them.
Use protection.
Yeah, use protection. Don't take drugs, I guess. Especially if you don't know the person.
I just want to say,
Remember, kids, if someone offers you drugs, say yes because they're expensive.
Nah,
Depends on the drugs.
depends,
Exactly.
yeah.
you know, depends on what kind you're getting.
I'm just kidding. Goddamn.
But yeah,
No,
as
you have to
the
be serious.
purple in the room, I want to say something real quick on this podcast. If you're meeting up, like Aloe said, be safe. But FaT is not endorsing or anything official if you do it outside like we're not planning.
It's not an official.
It's
We're not like be like, oh well, these guys told me that we should meet up, and I got stabbed. Like,
Mhm.
No.
Yeah, meet up on
Uh,
your own terms at
Make
your
sure you
own
sign a
risk.
waiver.
Yeah.
Sign that waiver.
And it's
We
gonna
have
be
the waiver.
awkward. Like, meeting Jimmy the first time was really fucking awkward. Like, meeting people online that you know online in real life.
Yeah.
It's like a
Awkward as
really
shit.
awkward Tinder date.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like-
yeah,
it's
that's
like-
happened.
Like you're on the computer, right? Like you can talk like
You can talk
know
shit
them
to
for years,
them
but the moment you
online.
see them face to face,
Yeah.
who are you?
They'll square up on moment.
You can talk shit to them as much as you want online, but no, if you plan on meeting up, you're gonna have to see their face.
And then you
So-
gotta talk shit to their face.
Yeah, I mean, or don't.
Media.
Put your
Alpha.
money where your mouth is. Never back down.
Anyway, we're gonna go to a different question. This is from Rage to Bios. What keeps you wanting to continue to work in FaT, and what makes you enjoy it?
Interesting question. So, ever since joining FaT, like if I like do like a chronological type of like, I wasn't interested in being staff, but I was just here to meet, try out, see how the group was. Like, believe me, like in the beginning, like we had like some type of structure, right? But like most of the stuff, like when I joined, like we had nothing. It was pretty much we had like Jimmy like basically made, oh yeah, we're gonna have a game squad, and then we're gonna have a manager under, and then we're gonna have like some moderate staff member, and then we have a basic group, but like nothing else was like really set. Like we were still building everything up. Like I joined, and then I became staff like I think like the first weekend or something. Like it was actually a couple days. But like I joined as a regular, and then I went up to instantly a manager. I think it was like events or something. And then I stuck there for a while, and then I became like I had like 5, 6 different staff teams under me while I was still a manager of. And then I don't know. I just slowly added a staff team, found someone to replace me on that staff team so I could do less, and then I I get piled another staff team, and I take one away. So it's like it goes back and forth. Like I guess I enjoy being it, but sometimes I found like I do play games a lot less. Sometimes I just literally hop on, do staff stuff, and then I get off. Oh wait, what do you know? It's an hour later.
Damn, it really be like that sometimes though. Like cause I just started a new job, so like I have to hop on and like I have my managers messaging me, asking me questions about stuff. So I answer the questions and then I go to bed, and it's been like 30 minutes me answering and talking to my managers. So I can imagine it being on like you have it on a grander scale now. because you're a clan director. So you have to not necessarily deal with the directors, but you do have to deal with the directors. But you have all these other people below you too. So that's crazy. Like
It's so
I
much for my
imagine
brain.
like you can't spend a lot of time playing games because you don't necessarily have time playing games. So
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, like, even though I'm clan director, I actually have less work than I did before.
oh shit.
So I mean, like, ever since coming up, like ever since like as I progressed, right, as the group evolved, I've had less and less work. Like I've had like basic overall structure, right? The Don't get me wrong, clan director does a lot of work, and Chrome does a lot, and like the game director does a lot. But, like team wise, like it's been a lot less like me having to be involved in everything. Because I remember when I had to like most of the squad stuff, like we were still setting it up. Like the beginning was like a steep curve, right? So like we didn't have anything planned. Like the appeals team, like what we have now, the appeals team, the squad admin team, like we had none of that. Like it was still being set. And I'm
Pan
happy to be a part of
entered.
helping set it up. So like it's been a while, and I've enjoyed like every part of it. Like don't get me wrong, like there's been times where we had to ban like friends. Like well, like there's goods and bad of both, but overall it's been a very enjoyable, pleasant experience getting to know everyone.
That's it's definitely like I see what you mean. Like as you progress through the ranks, you have less to worry about because you have more people under you. You know what I mean? So I
And also,
understand
people
that
under
part.
you are more confident, like directly under you, more confident. I feel they're more like they've been through more, so you know, like they can handle the roles that they're in.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think like now, like, there's some staff teams that they get instant promoted to manager, which is applicable, right? Like, there's a reason why they're promoted. But, like, there's been times where like I basically worked on almost every staff team, like, besides like other game staff teams. Like, I have no idea what on Halo. There's probably some commonalities like between like the events of Halo and stuff. Like
Mhm.
other games, like I've never been on. Like I've been mostly on squad and like general overall FaT. Like that's been my niche as a staff member of FaT. Like I pretty much like know the ins and outs of almost every team that's in FaT because like either A, I was there when it was talked about, B, I helped create it, or C, like it was my idea.
Jesus Christ.
um, but yeah, we appreciate your service, Bios, for putting all you. I mean, you, Jimmy, like everybody, all the OGs have helped keep this clan alive, and like it's one of those things where you don't. I feel like you guys don't get enough recognition because you guys were the OGs. You guys helped form FaT to what it is now,
For better, for worse.
for better or for worse. So I guess this is my thanks for keeping Fear and Terror alive for what 2 years now.
God.
3.
Three. Yeah,
I
3
mean,
years.
actually, you know what? I want to make Jimmy happy. 2 years officially.
Officially. Alright.
Officially, on the record.
Officially, one of these transition discords are
Oh, were you guys on the forums before this or something?
no.
Oh
So,
my.
oh my god, we wait. You didn't? Were you here
I
when we had the other Discord?
no.
Oh,
Oh my god, there was another
I thought
There
we
was
Discord?
another Discord? What?
Is it the
yeah.
failsafe Discord?
No, we had another Discord before we moved to this.
This is news to me.
So we had a original FaT Discord, right? Like I'm sure Jimmy told you the story, or like some of you guys heard it. Like it was the name Fear and Terror came from another guy that Jimmy's like L Ramsey's. Those two were like, hey, let's create a group, but like he didn't do much. So Jimmy took it and then moved it to this Discord. Like they left on happy terms, but like we moved here from
He
that Discord.
stole the name brand.
No, like he got like they
He
left.
stole
happy.
intellectual
It was
property.
Terror and Fear originally. He just changed it around a little bit.
It's like
But
this
yeah,
acronym sounds better.
I mean now you guys now you know we moved Discord. This is our second Discord.
It's
That's
the
And
how
this is
lore.
when we officially started.
I expect the book of records to be updated after this
I'm sure it's in
podcast.
there.
I don't have
Um,
access.
I have two questions. First one is from a member. It's from Gravity, and he wants a debate from this one and from everybody. Who would win in a fight? A 10-year-old martial artist with a black belt, or an 80-year-old special forces veteran?
I say 8-year-old. He's got the weight probably.
Which country special forces? 'Cause that's important.
Um,
Okay, in order to make it better, any country, both of them from the same country.
yeah.
There's too
I
many
mean, it
fucking
depends.
countries.
Yeah, that's too many fucking countries. Like, if you're
Okay,
talking
we'll say
Russian, like
Russia.
that
We'll
little
say
poor
Russia.
boy,
That's a
like he's
fucking
growing up on
Spetsnaz kid.
potatoes, and that Spetsnaz guy is
We're
probably
gonna put that kid into the dirt.
That kid's fucking dead.
yeah, like
I don't know, dude. Like,
I
it
don't
could
know.
be one of those things where like the kid is like a super soldier. He's like a black. He's a black belt.
The
And he's
black
10 years
belt
old.
is like
And he's
a
he's a
charity.
super soul. He's a
charity.
he's a future super soldier. And he doesn't even know
No.
it yet. It's like Jedi, like not knowing you have the Force, but you have the Force.
When you're 10 years old and
What?
get your black belt, that's fucking just a charity case, dude.
I don't know. I feel like the old guy is a lot more frail too.
Man, this question, like,
Bios, what do you gotta say?
To be fair, getting a black belt in like most martial arts takes like years and
It
years
takes
and
time and
years and years.
dedication.
Like,
That's
yeah,
what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think
If he's
you
like a
can
black belt at
possibly
10 years
do
old,
that.
he's either a god or
Okay,
it's a
Isn't
is
doing it
this
since he was,
special
like,
force?
4.
Is this guy from the special forces missing any limbs, or is he like? Has he been injured, or is he like?
No,
Because that's important
he's
too.
80.
I'm special forces.
He's 80. The man's probably got Alzheimer's by now.
Special forces.
Like, did he get like honorably discharged?
Does he
or did
remember that he's fighting the child?
Probably
It's
not.
all,
Child's
these are
getting
all
put into
important
the
I just
dirt.
want to
questions. So
say the
next time
first thing. Why is it adult fighting a young kid?
I don't know. It's
Dude,
Russia, dude. It's
Survivor.
I've
Russia.
seen some buff ass 80-year-olds that are in their prime. That's like even like
Hit the
mentally and
bar at
physically
the
stronger
retirement
than like
home.
a teen.
You're not wrong though. Like,
I
just
guess
yeah,
the
like
pictures up of
if
those
you're
buff
talking,
men.
especially special forces, dude. If he's been like keeping in shape, is he like ex special forces, like gone in hiding, like
He's
Bear
still
Grylls
special
style,
forces.
like.
Continuing to defend our country.
Too many
At 80
variables.
years old.
Pretty sure like at that age there's forced retirement.
Is that
Especially
a
if it's
thing in the military? Forced retirement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, imagine.
oh,
Yeah, they forced my dad to retire because he didn't make general.
oh, damn.
It's like if you don't meet us, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, for like I'm not in the military, but like if you don't reach a certain rank within like a certain age range, then you're forced to retire because you are not above that rank.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I don't know. Is
And
anyone
my
here
last-
former military?
I don't think anyone's mill here.
Alright, moving on.
My last question for everybody here, is what is your favorite memory in FaT? And I guess I'll start. I don't know why I'm starting, but because this is hard because I didn't have a chance to think about it. But
okay.
okay, since I do,
I'll fucking take this. Like all the dumb shit that we all do in any kind of game, they go, you know what, fuck it, let's roll with it. As you roll with it as like a FaT squad, like you rush like Mod Zai on whatever.
Yeah.
Just all the dumb bullshit bum rushes, all the fucking bullshit plans that you just go, how'd that fucking work? And you get to share that kind of moment with anybody. It can be in any game. Like Tarkov, you can be like, I'm just gonna flash around this corner and just throw a round down range, see what happens. And you just nail the PMC, and you're like, how did that happen? Or you're in a tank battle in post-scriptum, and it's just like, well, why don't we just, I don't know, flank this tank? See what happens. So take a staghound go versus a panther, and you somehow
A
take out 3
staghound
of them.
versus a tiger, which has happened. There are people that say it hasn't happened, but it has.
Yeah,
I did it.
That's not the point. Like dumb shit like that.
But yeah,
they
yeah,
get the experience of sharing with that. That's kind of like all my favorite memories summed up in one because I forget things.
I feel like.
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, False. No,
No.
go ahead.
If you're not done, go
No,
keep
go
going.
ahead.
So I feel like I have like a couple, and it's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite. But like okay, so Mosins on labs before it was like key card, and we would just sit and like do crazy shit like that, like you were saying, just like absurd stuff, like just hold a hallway and just like 5 people shoot a Mosin like a bolt action sniper at someone as they walk in, or just it just like crazy stuff. And there's also
It's a
this
red line.
there's also there was this one match on squad, and it was like man, it's that forest match with the like 3 buildings in the center, and
First light, Operation First Light.
yeah, and man, it was like we would get so tactical with that, and it was like me and all the original guys, and just like fucking, just like yeah, it was. Oh man, it was just so legit because like we were just so coordinated, and like everyone was just like communicating like so well, and it was just like and we would fight each other, and it was still like fun, like we wouldn't get too salty or anything. It was just like it was just chilling.
I do want to add, like, anytime, like, when I would seed with other FaT guys, and just be like 20 guys in a server, and it'd be like 10v10. It's just all FaT guys. We're scrimming in the middle of like Logor Valley or some shit, and then you just kill a dude. And you're like, "Ah, fuck you!" in like the Discord chat.
Yeah.
Who is that? Who is that?
Yeah,
Who shot me?
Like that bullshit. That's always fun. Like I kind of miss seeding, but since I'm just so busy with fucking school, like that's the kind of shit I miss. I'll be honest. Like the seeding shit.
Yeah, honestly, I used to hate seating, but now I miss it.
Jay, I'm sorry.
I think my favorite memory is early on in my FaT days. I was promoted to director relatively soon of a little game called War of Rights.
Racist.
And yeah, that was it was bad. It's no longer a side. It's not a side game or a main game for many reasons. Racism mainly. But we used to like get all the boys on and like do line battles and shit, and just fill up a server. And I was NCOing, and Kilram was like my sergeant, and we had a bunch of puppies in our line, so it was like Yoshi and Jackal was there, and I think Turd was there. But we were all in this line doing volley fires at the enemy, and I was calling out the volley fire, and some guy's like, charge, charge, and Kill's like, Kill's yelling at this guy about asking who keeps yelling charge, and nobody's saying anything, and Killer finally finds the guy that's yelling charge, and Kill's like, all right, then why don't you charge? And the guy hops the fence and starts running across the field, and everybody else is reloading, and Kill pulls out his pistol and shoots the guy in the back. That is my favorite moment ever. And he's like, and Kill says, if anybody else wants to charge, that's what's gonna happen. And nobody else said anything at the end of the match.
Jesus Christ.
So Kill, thank you for making my Fear and Terror #1 play. So
Welcome to the Imperium of Man. You are nothing.
And I think there's video of that out there somewhere. I think but
I'll find it.
I'll find it.
We'll find it, and we'll link it to the podcast. BIOS. What's your favorite?
I mean, if we're talking about game wise, like if we're talking about game, like I want to say my most memorable in FaT was from. It was actually, if anyone here knows Foley, it was Foley's recruitment speech at the end of a match during a score.
Oh, fucking Sergeant Foley.
Sergeant Foley. I posted that like video a couple times. Like I could repost it. I still have. Like that was one of the most memorable gameplay moments ever.
Hey
Hey
guys.
everyone.
Oh, that was Harry.
Hey guys, welcome to the Fear and Terror
Nice
server.
job,
I'm Recruiter
GG.
here. I just want to take this moment to offer you guys some cool, competitive squad community.
I'm gonna fucking
We offer
fully.
lots of benefits such as friendly players that understand and prioritizes teamwork, which offers a better and more enjoyable time when playing squad.
Fully
In
fuck
addition to
you.
that, we compete in competitive
Your
events.
mama.
Fear and Terror, guys, where you can join the communities and learn new squad gameplay tips and tactics that thoroughly improve your playing time.
Oh my god.
All hours.
Yo.
Oh, he has that recorded.
I just see him like reading that shit off a piece of notebook paper.
Oh man,
But,
I
like,
forgot.
Yeah, fall. I believe all of us were here. Like, sorry, Gordo, you weren't here. It was
No.
long before your time. And Aloe. But
I get it.
like that, like game wise, that was the most memorable. But like the favorite part of is I want to say like the moments where like there's been times where people share way too personal information, like way too personal. Like I didn't need to know like that personal level of detail. Like I say moments like that, like you don't really find that really out of here. Like there's moments, I say those moments are the most memorable for me. Like the moments where like you can share between like either like two people or a group. Like I've had some of that with like some people in this room, and then like those are the most memorable members. Like even one day if I do like those are the people that I'll like keep in contact with, and then ignore everyone else.
Yeah, like me and Bios, we never talk to each other. All right, Gordo, you're up.
Alright. Literally from last night, I think the most memorable moment, ever since that new update for the commander abilities has been added, the fucking artillery barrages have given me officially PTSD. I'm scared of those things. It's not fun. And I'm just sitting in the house, just minding my business as a machine gunner, and Surface rounds the corner, yells at me to get her to hab and start digging. So I'm just digging up this hab, well, meanwhile, we're getting nuked to hell. So yeah, that was not fun, but also fun at the same time.
Commander assets and squad. Have you played Post?
God, no, I need to get Post.
It's so PTSD.
Oh, I need
I'm not
it.
saying it's better,
You see many
but
things.
it might be better.
I think it's better. I've seen gameplay of it.
I think the gore is what makes the big difference. Once squad adds gore,
They won't.
exactly.
That's
I
the
start
point.
playing squad again, but
I'll
I
buy
just
Post.
love that element of like someone's legs getting blown off. I've said this in other podcasts, but anyway,
You're disgusting.
did I miss Sensei? Did you say?
I said it's all the dumb shit we all do that somehow works.
Yeah, we hit
Those
everyone.
random fucking moments, fucking running through like the biggest map in squad, just walking from point to point, and just the random conversations you'll have. Good times.
I agree with that. Some of the conversations like you'd have, like just like in the middle of the woods, just sitting there for like 20 minutes, like in a tank or something, like best moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually now that I'm looking through my old videos, there's another one. One of the top favorite moments in FaT was the bet moment.
Yeah, I was gonna mention
Oh
that.
my god, dude!
No!
We won't go into
we're not,
who
we're not
the
gonna
bet
go
was,
into.
but like that,
The
like
bet,
for those that
dude.
know,
I
that
forgot
was
about
the
that.
most memorable.
I love the bet. Oh,
I never
man,
want to remember
dude.
that ever again.
To the people who don't know, I don't know either, so.
I don't want to remember that.
The
I don't
bet
want to
was like
remember that.
around my time. Like, it was a little bit before, but I heard like the stories of the bet.
Yeah, remember.
Bios was the first one that told me too. Bios was like, "This is what happened." I was like, "No, it didn't."
Okay, no.
God, I want to
like,
know so bad.
I got permission, but like, I remember like like the original was memorable like for me because like I was the one officiating it.
Yeah, no, and you recorded it, dude, and you have it on video, like you have it on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure.
It's private.
Man, I fucking
Hearing
dude.
about the bet makes me happy because I know.
Okay, all I can say is I won a bet about if I could cross the edge of a like I could cross an entire field while taking mortar fire from someone, and yeah,
That other
the
person
way
lost.
the other person lost,
Why they
and
lose?
a little bit of their
No,
dignity.
no.
A little bit of their
Got it,
dignity.
got
They
it, got
lost
it.
the dignity. They lost
They lost the
dignity.
dignity.
All right, we're gonna move away from that.
Yep, and that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, with
It
that,
was actually
I can't believe I had to remember that.
with that, I want to say thank you to Bios, False, and Sensei for joining us on the podcast, the episode 3. We appreciate you guys sticking around for this long. I know
Yeah, thank you guys.
you've seen many people come and go, and thank you for the viewers for tuning in this time. And that is the podcast.
Y'all have a great night.
appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really good. Making me remember things.